Yo guys, this is Ryan, it's your favorite Russian talking, and today we're gonna talk about guides. About what kind of guides I'm gonna be making. So I have a good talk track. Better than probably a lot of people. Better probably than anybody else. Um, 2 years ago I checked, I got over 60 people. That's people that told me only that they got Gladiator with the help of my guides. About 12 people got rank 1s from the help of my guides. And this is something that I actually take very, very serious. And the fact of the matter is, I am kind of more interested in actually making guides than in playing the game itself, which is kind of a little bit weird. Now, the meta is changing in WoW significantly. The first thing I want to talk is the video I'm gonna make today is gonna be an example of how meta in WoW changes and how meta for my guides have to change to move accordingly, to move forward. And then also my philosophy channel, I'm gonna be releasing how people should blame the parents for a lot of crap. So with that said, about the guides. So Cataclysm was very, very straightforward. First of all, nobody ever played Unholy Decay in Cataclysm. I was the only tryhard who got actually Hero of the Lions multiple times there. But with that said, there were just two different specs. RPG spec and Arena spec. Okay, I wasn't the only one. A few actually Unholy Decays that played as well, but there were very few. In Mists of Pandaria, the beta started changing a little bit, and we noticed a big of a difference. For example, Chillblains versus Asphyxiate. Chillblains provides a completely different playstyle from Asphyxiate. With Asphyxiate, you just grip and you try to go for that quick kill on the healer, most of the times. And with the Chillblains, it was a little bit different because you have to peel, and you're actually wasting a lot of your resources towards peeling. And those two different talents altered your gameplay style by a lot. In Worlds of Draenor, as much as I fucking hate that expansion, sorry for cursing guys, one good thing I want to tell about that is that it actually kind of broadened up on that a little bit more. So when I'm looking at Unholy Decay and I'm seeing Necrotic Plague versus Breath of Sindragosa. That is so altering when it comes to playstyle. It is unbelievable. You have plays where you have to spam your festering strikes a lot to keep that 20 stacks going, versus something that you have to set up where you have to force the healer to trinket and then can accordingly play well and place while you asphyxiate to gimp somebody. Now, moving on to the Legion, it is actually going to be a lot more complex. And as much as I don't like the cooldown stacking meta to what Legion is becoming, however, the flexibility of the class picking there and the abilities and the talents is definitely there. Some specs have more, some less. And I'm actually writing Unholy Guide right now on my website. It's gonna be linked in the below. So, with that said, what is the meta changing? Well, Unholy can run, and Unholy is just an example. There's multiple specs out there. Can run AoE spread pressure with added single target bonus damage. Can run a range spec. It can run a melee spec, melee pet oriented spec, melee absorption like via necrotic oriented spec. There's about 4 to 5 different specs that Unholy can use. And all of those applicable specs are, for example, you might want to go with a kiting spec against 2 melee. Or you might want to go against, heavy melee spec against 1 melee and 1 ranged. For example, caster range. So, for example, if there's a mage, for example, warrior, you might want to sit on a warrior because you're going to be kited by a mage a lot. And you can do so much single target pressure, especially from the pet spec, it is unbelievable. And then you can run a dot cleave spec as unholy. There's so many different options in terms of getting a kiting spec, getting a ranged DPS spec, getting the melee focus spec, getting the pet burst spec. There's so many different specs. So how can I make one guide to incorporate all of that? Well, technically I can. It will take about an hour to make, and will be a nightmare for you guys to actually find what you're looking for. So I am changing my guide's meta. So when the people look at it and they start asking why the hell I didn't accompany other, please link them this video so I can explain. So the metas I'm going to be running is going to be situation based. If there is an enemy XYZ, you have to be picking XYZ playstyle. If there's double melee, run this. Will give you more bang for your buck. That's the guys I'm looking forward. And that's the guys that are infinitely a lot more difficult than a straight up, this is your cookie cutter spec. These are the talents you have to pick. This is the macros you have to use. That is extremely easy and mindless thing to make nowadays in terms of guides. The hardest one will be situational, to be reactional, to understand the mechanics of the game and how you can counter the classes by putting a spec appropriate. And that's what I'm going to be making. So, and I'm patenting that. I'm patenting and I'm copywriting that. Situational specs. Situational guides. That's going to be coming out. And the first guide is going to be coming out today. So, hopefully that kind of makes sense for you. I thought about it saying all of this in my guides video, but I felt like this required a vlog. Last but not least, add me on the Facebook if somebody have questions about Legion, about the guides, about pretty much anything I do. Add me as a friend on Facebook and message me. I'm gonna make a vlog next week doing Q's and A's. Thank you guys for watching, and до свидания.